Okay. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all the viewers of Awesome Seniors. This is Nancy Reyes Lumen, a senior. And today we have a baby boomer, and he has so many hats that he's wearing. I don't know where to start introducing him. From being a congressional spouse, we'll talk about that, to being the unofficial John Lennon of the Philippines. We are delighted and excited and musicalated to have a dear friend, John Lesaca. Hello, John.
Hello. Hi. Good morning, good evening, Nancy, and to Anton. It's great
Yeah.
to be here in your awesome show. And I was wondering at first, why awesome seniors? And then I found out, well, it's also a good break for us seniors, not doing anything and just sharing with your millions of viewers out there what
Yes.
uh, what the inside story or the background stories of each of the seniors are, di ba?
Yeah. At saka sometimes akala nila tayong mga senior, mga Jurassic na lang na naka-rocking chair. Ha ha ha, hello. Ang daming accomplishment nitong ating interview today, John Lesaca. So, John,
Ganun
we
ba
should
yun?
start.
Ganun ba yun?
Ha?
Ganun ba yun, Iha?
Ay, oo, lolo. Mano po. Hindi, John. Tell us about yourself. Uh, Tell us a story about how you started. You have so many accomplishments from being a congressional spouse. And John is an industrial engineer, ha? Take note. Tapos may Haribon Foundation, may NCCA. He's on the board of trustees for music. He composed a love song. Ang
Oh,
lalim ng title. Ang title, I Love You. And we
oh,
will ask him for whom this was written. At saka yung isa pang kanta niya, Bakit? 'Di ba?
mm, yeah, right, that's
Tapos
right.
dahil nagsawa na ang Aliw Awardee sa award sa kanya, ginawa na siya talagang Hall of Fame awardee for all his music. And most importantly, John has a musical heart that he shares, and we will see that in the captioning of his photos when he shared it not just for his fans, his rock and roll fans, but to children. So let's go, John. Game. Tell us
Okay,
about how you started.
well, I come from a family that loves to analyze, firstly.
Really?
Loves to analyze things, no? Why it happens, how does this thing work, etc. So I think it's more of the technical leanings of my father, who was a mathematician, a physicist, a brilliant scientist for that matter.
Uh-huh.
Oh, as a matter of fact, alam mo, Nancy and Anton, si Papa was the
Uh-huh.
first Filipino to interview Albert Einstein in person.
Really? Wow,
E,
where?
E equals MC squared.
Yeah.
And from time to time when I visit him, he would always regale me with stories of his interview with Einstein. And more often than not, he would try to explain to me the theory of relativity and the quantum physics that came with it. And I have to remind him constantly that was why I chose music as my career.
Layo.
But, but you know what? He also countered by saying, music is mathematics as well. And there are physics involved here. And he started elucidating on it. And true enough, diba? Physics may vibration yan,
Yes.
frequencies, etc. How it reaches the eardrums, the perception of sound, etc. So he was trying to again analyze the music as a science as well as an art, which
Okay.
for me was an eye opener.
Okay.
So going back to when I was 4 years old, I was exposed also to my older brothers and sisters.
How many were
Uh,
you in the family?
we're 8 boys and 7 boys and 2 girls.
Wow, dami.
No, 6 boys pala. Six boys and 2 girls. We're eight
Oh,
in the family. Senior moments talaga.
number ano ka?
Number 6 ako.
Okay.
6 out of 8. A younger brother had passed on, but so now we're 7 alive. But one of my brothers, si Bobby,
Hi,
we're all
Bobby.
schoolmates. Yeah, and Bobby was also instrumental in exposing me to music, being an elder sibling, and
Yep.
most of my siblings, older than me, um, were exposing me to music. Not really intentionally, but I would see them have fun playing music, making music, and playing instruments with the other neighbors as well. The Kailaos, the Daza, sila Bong Daza was playing drums before, sila Sandy, and then of course, once in a while, sila Boy Camera would hang out. So at that time, I didn't know how big Boy was in the industry until later
Yeah.
on when I saw Jesus Christ Superstar, the musical, etc. And I was just telling everyone, "Hey, I know that guy." So they exposed me to music, and I wanted to very much join them because I saw they were having so much fun. And but you know how siblings are, they didn't want me to hang out with their own kind. So they would send me home. Yeah, oh, alas stress na, matulog ka na, siesta ka na, ganun. So I thought that maybe it was because I wasn't playing an instrument then. Because I would just sit down and listen to them, and seeing how much they enjoyed music. And so one day I decided maybe to be accepted by these neighbors and my siblings, maybe I should try to learn a musical instrument. And since they played guitar, I wanted to play guitar too, right? Not natural lang yun. But alam mo, masyado malaki yung gitara para sa akin at 4 years old. You can't even. Yeah, you couldn't even put it in your lap and sling your right arm, and it won't even reach the strings, right? So what I did, I borrowed a ukulele, and so I, practiced. I tried applying the finger techniques of the rest of the guys when they would make music. But in my spare time, because it wasn't my ukulele, I would practice with the broom. Yung walis, ginaganon ko yung ginaganon para at least sanay yung right hand ko. And then I would practice with my left hand para yung left and right coordination tama, di ba? So, and finally, I got the hang of it. Alam mo naman, bata, mabilis mag-absorb yan ng.
Kaninong ukulele yun?
Um, it belonged to, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, uh, one of them belonged to a, a a childhood friend of mine, si Nick Lansan.
Hi, Nick.
Well, God bless his soul, is already.
Oh.
I think if it's not him, it's one of the neighbors. Basta sigurado, one of the neighbors yan. And
Mm.
alam mo sa Area 1, it's a very close community. There are no fences. There were no fences. And even pag kulang sa asin, sisigaw ka lang sa kapitbahay mo. Pahingi naman na asin, nauusan ka niya eh. Ganon, di ba? So, ganun yan. It was a closely knit community. And so the neighbors were very close as well. And that's where, we developed all the lasting friendships. And I, as well, absorbed the awesome musicality nung Area 1. At that time, si Ryan Kayabyab, sila Sip Kayabyab, sila Bert Kayabyab, they were my neighbors as well. And then on the other side of the street, Jovita Fuentes was there.
Wow.
Uh, she was the very first female national artist, the first national
Yes.
artist in the Philippines. And marami pa yan. On the other street naman, si Dr. Maceda naman. So I had the best of both ethnomusicology, classical music, pop music, and of course, andyan sila Cash Manalang, sila Boy Camara, and my brother, si Bob. And I also had a good exposure on pop instruments, the guitar, the bass, the drums, the keyboard, and singing as well. Because at that time, puro Beatles ang mga kanta nun eh. Panahon ng Beatles eh.
Okay,
And
minention mo na ang Beatles, John. Bakit ka naging John Lennon of the Philippines?
hindi, katuwaan lang yon. One time kasi,
Actually, hindi. Yeah.
oh yeah? Well, I don't know. I did it out just for fun. But anyway, I had this group. We formed this group with Cash Manalang. It's called Area 1 as a
Yes.
tribute to our community in UP. It's called Area 1. And we used to, the concept was doing Beatles songs. Because una, panahon namin yun. Secondly, it was very hard. It still is very, very difficult to recreate the sound of the Beatles. Iba yan. As a tribute to them, we try to recreate the sound. Until now, we're still looking for that proper sound. Of course, with the limited instrumentation and technology that we have. So whatever natural was in us, we tried it. And you should hear Cash Manalang. I mean, you know Cash.
Yeah.
When he sings, you close your eyes and he sounds very much like Paul McCartney.
Actually,
So,
pag pumikit ka ng mata mo, medyo mas gwapo lang ng konting degree si Cash kesa kay Paul McCartney.
ang tawag namin sa kanya si Paul McCartney.
Hindi, ang tawag ko sa kanya, the false McCartney.
So, the false McCartney. Yeah, and then at that time, ang nag-John Lennon noon was Tos Lansang. And he really sounded like John Lennon also. And so I figured maybe I'll try, mimicking, aping them, just to be able to join their group as well. Because ang saya talaga ng grupo nila. In between music, they would have fun, cracking jokes, laughing, saya-saya ng grupong yun. So
Ano
anyway,
yan? Question. Di nagdadamo sila, hindi? Nagdadamo
ano?
ba o hindi? Panahon natin yun.
Yeah, yeah. Uso yun nun yun. So, but at that time, ang una kong natikman nun was gin. Gin bulag. Hindi ako marunong uminom masyado nun, kaya hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin ako marunong uminom.
Okay.
So anyway, Beatles became part of our lives. And so until now, we have the Beatles tribute band, as we call it. And we've been performing a lot in many places as well. And we were so fortunate to have performed with, alam mo yung
Huh?
Cascades, di ba?
Wait, you were breaking. Again,
Yeah.
pakiulit. John, pakiulit.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we were lucky enough to have performed with the Cascades.
Ooh.
I mean, our generation, we know the Cascades, and we loved listening to Rhythm of the Rain, di ba?
Yes.
And dito kasi when they arrived for a somewhat reunion tour many years ago, they were looking for a band that would specialize in retro music. So there were a lot of retro bands I believe you were also a member of a retro group, di ba?
Yeah.
Oo, ang gagaling yan. Magagaling kayo eh. But ano kasi sa amin, kaya kami lang nakuha, siguro dahil ah, puro loko-loko kami sa banda. Alam mo naman, nakakatawa kasi yung musicians eh, pag magkakasama yan eh. And
Mm.
somehow we hit it well with them. And so they decided to get us in their Southeast Asian tour. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so we went to Osaka, Japan, Malaysia, and many parts of the Philippines as well. They did a tour. And in fact, we were going to do a tour, but pandemic happened. And we were planning to go to the States, actually. There was a US trip that was in the works for us. But at that time also, the Cascades had again disbanded. Siyempre, mga mas standards sa atin yun eh, di ba? So, yung iba napapagod na, ganun. Masakit na, may rayuma na.
Wala
So,
na po.
ang natitira na lang doon, si John Gamo, yung lead composer, the one who wrote Rhythm of the Rain. And
Uh-huh.
all the like Shy Girl, yung mga ganyan. So, he wanted to do na lang a solo show with me, with us, with Area 1 as the backup group. Dahil alam na namin lahat yung kanta nila eh, so it was easier for
Mm.
them to bring us. But the pandemic happened, and so there's a reason for everything. And so that started it.
Question. Wait, John. Sino yung banda mo? Sino-sino kayo?
Oh, ang guitar player namin si Roy Marinduque. Ang bass player namin si Cash Manalang. Our drummer, dalawa yung drummer namin, nag-alternate sila because both have different bands as well. Eh. Si Benji Santos at saka si Makoy Alcantara. Benji kasi is with the famous The Jerks, yung rock band na The Jerks.
Okay.
So sometimes we nagka-clash yung schedules namin.
Mhm.
So pag ganon, si Makoy Alcantara nagsa-substitute sa amin. And then our keyboard player is Carlo Gaa.
Si
Um,
Carlo. Okay.
everybody's keyboard player yan eh, si Carlo. And then going to the vocals, si Roy Marinduque also sings. Carlo also sings. Everybody sings actually. And then for the lead vocals, we have Makoy Fundales, formerly of the Orange and Lemons. He went solo, but he couldn't shrug off the temptation of gigging with bands pa rin. And
Mhm.
he's quite young. Siya ang bunso namin. So he still has the energy to do it. So nagbanda rin siya, sumali rin siya sa amin. And he was exposed to Beatles because of his dad also. So
Okay.
si Makoy, singer namin. And then another lead singer, si Bert De Leon,
Bird. Okay.
who's very famous for directing Itbulaga and
Yes.
Bubble Gang and many other television shows as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, si Bert kasi got COVID and he's still recovering from
We're
COVID.
praying
So
for him. Yeah.
yeah, get well, Bert. And then, of course, si Cash Manalang sings the Paul McCartney. And I force myself to sing the John Lennon parts as well and play guitar.
Okay. Now wait. Speaking of songs, let's go into the compositions that you did. After that, we'll talk about your Aliw Awards.
Okay. Once in a while, I do songs, I write songs, but these are not commercial in nature. Eh. Until
Okay.
finally one day I said, I should make one before I die at least. I should have one original song in the albums that I make. Diba? And ayun, the first one I wrote was a song. It was a love song. It's called I Love You.
Wow.
But it's an instrumental number. Ano, I sang also in that song pala. And I wrote everything, I arranged everything, and then I recorded it with Ivory Records many, many years ago. And it
Can you
was a
sing the
song,
first few bars?
oh, miracles, they happen every day in one's life. Wonderful and pretty, just as you are my wife. We just have to open our minds and look around and see. No
Sing.
one else could be together patiently like you and me.
Okay. Who
So,
is that person that you wrote it for? That I love you.
ay nako, that is, I really wrote that for Marilou, my wife, Marilou. I figured, why make a song for other people? Umpisahan ko muna sa asawa ko, di ba? And to show her
Wow.
how much, and tsaka to show her also how much she is appreciated. Because I'm not really I don't show too much, uh, uh, I'm just quiet, but
Mm-hmm.
so best thing is for me to express it through music, I guess. And the actual title of the song is "I Love You," and then in parentheses, a song for Marilou. But she also knows that it's really for her. Many people though, lalo na si Cash. Cash was the first one I let my friends hear my music first before I record it. And Cash
Yeah.
said, sabi niya si Cash sa akin, "Men, oh, parang nabuhay ulit si John Lennon," sabi niya gano'n. So, oo, sabi ko, ang lakas talaga ng influence sa akin eh, sabi ko. So, I just hope it fares well with the public.
Okay.
But it's not really that advertised or promoted. But anyway, I that is one number in my bucket list that was already checked.
Teka muna. Paano kayo nagkilala ni Marilou?
Ay, nako. To make it short, alam mo, sa Area 1, sa community namin, we had, we would always celebrate New Year's Eve among neighbors, di ba? So, may inuman, may pagkain, may music. So, sometimes, ang toka ko dyan, being the musician in the neighborhood, I would bring or provide the music and performers. So, kung kunyari, formal occasion yan, may tables doon, naka-dinner by candlelight lahat. Tapos I provide the string quartet, playing, kunyari, Eine kleine Nachtmusik,
Wow.
Mozart, mga ganun. Yeah. Pero meron din namang team na yung punk, punk during those days. So lahat nakakadena, naka, nakapumada na nakatayo yung buhok.
Team.
Oo, nakaitim, na weird yung hitsura nun lahat. So gano'n. But one day, at saka ano yan, may mga parating may baka, may roast calf, courtesy of one neighbor who has a ranch.
Okay.
So it was always a big celebration that we would look forward to. And one day, we had common friends kasi ni Marilou. And so at that time, I was also separated.
Okay.
And Marilou was also separated. And yung pala, the common friends were trying to introduce us to each other. And wala akong, wala akong gana kasi noon na hindi mo na, I don't have time for that. I just want to enjoy first. But one time, they, one of our common friends, the neighbor, nandun din, tambay din sa area 1. Well, she brought along Marilou and her daughter. And so we were introduced. Alam mo, the funny thing was, nung nagkilala kami, hello, yung ganun pa lang, alam mo, buong gabi na, hindi na kami naghiwalay.
Wow!
Talaga.
Woo!
Tapos, nagalit nga yung daughter niya dahil under the table, hinahawakan ko na daw yung kamay niya. So, sabi ko, natatawa na lang ako. But anyway, um, of course, I had to um, take her home. Diba? Para, being, it's only proper that may kasama silang pauwi nila. Yung pala, gusto ko lang malaman kung saan sila nakatira.
Para
And
mag-isip.
the rest is history.
How many
After
years?
34
Oh,
years, yeah.
wow.
But because uh, my marriage, both our marriages were annulled already.
Okay.
But for her, it took some time, a long time actually. And she got it only last 2010.
Okay. Anyway, going from the Marilou to being a congressional spouse. Explain, please.
Well, my wife, si Marilou, belongs to the political family of the Arroyos. She is Marilou Arroyo.
Okay.
She is the sister, actually, of the former first gentleman, Mike Arroyo, Jose Miguel
Mhm.
Arroyo. And so, when GMA became president, of course, we were exposed to a lot of political activities as well. And in short, Marilu also having a background in politics because her lolo was also the first senator of Iloilo.
Okay.
And so, yeah, si Senator Arroyo din siya.
Mm-hmm.
So, at saka Lacson. So, what happened was, uh, after GMA's term, she had the opportunity to join Congress representing a party list for small and medium enterprises. It was called
Mm-hmm.
Kasangga. But wala na yata yung Kasangga these days. And then, 3 years ago, um, she would receive calls from Negros, from our friends in Negros, always asking that if she's interested in running for the fifth district of Negros Occidental. So finally, we decided to go check out the political landscape in Negros Occidental, and then after that, she made the decision to run. And you know what? It turned out well. God was good. Wala kaming kalaban. Wala siyang kalaban. So for 2019, she was able to sit and serve already as representative of the
Okay.
fifth district. So she's of course we filed for her candidacy for the second term. She still has 2 terms to go.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So
Okay.
yun yun. So, uh,
Mahirap ba maging ano? I'm sure the congressional spouses are women mostly. Ikaw yung siguro standing out as a guy. Uh,
yeah,
what do you do? Are
I
you like
remember
a
that.
bodyguard? You're like a bodyguard or something? Or aide de camp, di ba? Aide de camp.
Well, really, I help Marilou as much as I can. And sometimes when she forgets or she needs some personal or another perspective, I give it to her just to make sure that she's aware of it. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I help secure her that area kasi her district is also well known for rebel infestation. So I have to also make sure that she is secured.
Okay.
Aside from other things, and then many times also I play the violin when she needs
Yeah,
me to play for.
yeah, that's
Uh,
nice. Yeah. Anyway,
and
John,
then
John, excuse me, we have Roy Marinduque. Go, go. Anong tawag sa iyo, George?
si,
And then sabi
si,
niya, go John Lesaca, good morning. And then ito si Lakan. Hi, mag-hello ka sa kanila. Yeah. Ayun.
oh, hey, mga men. Oh, si Roy Marinduque. Roy,
Yeah.
get well. I hope you. alam mo, Roy kasi had an accident. He broke his left hand
Yeah.
in many pieces. So he's recovering and medyo nakakatugtug na siya. But Roy, miss ko na kayo sa tugtugan. He's a member of Area 1. Lakan for na
Anyway,
sir. Yan, mga grade school, ano ko yan, grade school classmates ko yan until now. The lasting friends like Poyet Guerrero din. Yan, si Poyet.
ano ba yan? Hindi kayo naman nagkokopyahan sa school ng mga ano?
Hindi. Ano yan? Siguradong may kopyahan yan. Hindi,
Okay.
tsaka, we had a lot of episodes together, kaya lasting friends talaga yan.
You know, viewers, that's one thing with John. I mean, he's he pleases everybody. He has a big heart. It's always been like you can see naman from the smile, and I think his music really comes from his heart. So again, about the violin, hindi mo pa na-mention, ukulele pa lang tayo eh. Sa violin naman tayo ngayon.
So, yung ukulele, hindi pa rin ako tinatanggap ng mga older brothers and neighbors. So, sabi ko, subukan ko na mag-gitara. So, at 5 years old, ay pinilit ko talaga mag-gitara. Ang hirap talaga, but I managed to do it, no? Just for the heck of it, dahil I wanted to play guitar. Hindi pa rin, pinapauwi pa rin ako ng mga kulukoy. So what I did, maybe, just maybe, I will play an instrument that they all cannot play. And so, for me, what was the easiest instrument? Because I had a difficult time with guitar. Maybe something similar to the ukulele, the size of the ukulele, and it also has 4 strings, right? So, sabi ko, violin. And so, out of the blue, I started pestering my dad, my father, to get me a violin. But of course, nung una, you know, parents are isipin nila, ano lang yan, hilig lang yan. He will outgrow this one, di ba? So, my dad tried to delay it for the longest time because I mean we were not well to do naman. So he was a professor also. So you know how salaries were there, di ba, as educators. So they had to save every centavo. So for him buying me a violin, it wasn't really a necessity. It was more of a luxury. And so, but you know, every time he would go on trips for scholarships abroad, or you know, brilliant kasi yan, iniimbita parate sa international community. So one time, naawa na sa akin. From Japan, he bought a violin, Japanese violin. Tapos may booklet, self-study book, complete with photos. How to hold the violin with the left hand, with the right hand, ganyan. And you know what? Being the scientist that he was, he studied it first and he learned how to read notes. So, and then he passed it on to me. So, ako naman, being very young, I absorbed all that I could absorb very fast. About half a month, I was already playing decently. No?
Galing.
And then I would read notes na. As a matter of fact, yung neighbor namin, who passed on, but who is also a national artist, who was a national artist,
Sino to?
Envy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Envy
Of course.
for literature. And you know what? He also plays violin. So he would go to the house or he would call me. Next door neighbors lang kami niyan eh. Isang hedge lang ng mga tanim ang ano namin, ang bakod namin na maliit. He would cross over to our house or I would cross over to his house. And he had this piece, this violin duets. So I would play the second violin, he would play the first, and then we would switch places. And that was really my very first attempt in ensemble playing. So when you get to learn how to study and play with another person, you become musically sensitive.
Okay,
Hindi lang pala ikaw.
let me just stop you there. How did you move from classic violin and put it into rock and roll? Yun ang gusto ko.
Yun.
Yun.
Okay. So, di violin na, no? Ha? In-enroll
Oh,
ako sa classical, sa UP College of Music, Conservatory of Music pa nun yan. In-enroll na ako ng papa ko after 1 year. Sabi na, I cannot teach you anything anymore. It's up to, ano naman, may mga colleagues siya, mga kaibigan niya, being a professor
no.
at the UP. So, I studied under Rizelina Buenaventura, classical music. But at the same time, inimbita rin ako ng ibang mga kaibigan ko rin na at the UP Elementary and High School at the same time. To join a band. Nung unang panahon, puro rock ang dating. Heavy metal at saka rock. Yung mga tipong inagada da vida, baby. Ganon. Diba? O kaya yung I just wanna make love to change. Mga ganon.
Yeah.
So finally, I had the best of both worlds, Nancy. Can you imagine, in the daytime, I would go to have my classical lessons at the UP Conservatory of Music. Tapos sa gabi, tumutugtog ako sa mga party, mga kasama ko. Combo pa tawag nun combo.
Combo.
Oh, lead guitar player ako, so puro distorted guitar ang tinutugtog ko.
Wasag.
And then we wore our hair long, di ba? Yung mga uso pa yung mga ano yun?
Bell bottom.
Bell bottom. Yung ang SDK, samahan ng double knit. Di ba yung mga ganun?
Yeah.
So, dinaanan natin lahat yan. And so, I had the best. I had a schizoid musical experience.
Okay.
Because I was into classical music, heavy classical music, Rachmaninoff, Beethoven, Mozart, and all the rest. Debussy, ganyan. And then at night, Sly and the Family Stone, Beatles, Cream, di ba? Led Zeppelin, yung mga ganon, di ba?
Okay.
So, I used that experience to mold me into what I am today. So even when I chose to have my violin as a solo career already, ginagamit ko pa rin yung experience ko both ng classical at saka rock at saka pop na in such a way na na-fuse ko together. So in fact, I wrote a song. It's about our eldest granddaughter, Ariana. Title ang name niya Ariana, title din ng piece Ariana. So in the first part of the song, I wrote a classical fugue. Trumpet and a violin. Tapos biglang segue on rock music naman, biglang ganun. And then it goes back to classical music, no?
Can you sing the first bar? Can you sing the first bar? Sing ha, hindi recite.
Oh, no, there's no lyric. It's an instrumental.
Okay. Right.
Okay. It's instrumental. It vividly describes, you can visualize it through the music. Alam mo, imagine a child na playing, running around the house, and suddenly she breaks a vase, di ba? And then magagalit ka, ay, ganyan. Then she cries, and then she puts on the face na ganun na, iyak na. Tapos mag-melt na yung puso mo, tapos okay na, di ba? And then she runs off merrily again, running around the house. That's the story of Ariana.
Okay, you know what, guys, listening, that's one aspect that it's new to me of John as a lolo. Hindi ko pa ano. But anyway, before that, merong si Bonj, kanina pa yan, andyan. At saka si Boyet G. Sino ba si Boyet G? Mga fans mo. At saka, hello, merong isang guy na sinabi sa iyo, John, I love you. Si
Naku,
Alfredo Martinez.
siguradong, sino?
Si Alfredo Martinez. I love you, John.
Alam mo yan, talaga yan, mga old friends yan.
Oh, okay.
Ano, uh, ever since kindergarten, kasama ko
Ah,
na yung mga yan.
hindi naman kayo ganon. Hindi naman kayo ganon ni Alfredo.
Hindi, pero ano
Okay.
talaga yan.
All right.
Parating nagdududa ako dyan. Hindi, biro lang. Biro lang. Alam mo si Alfredo Martinez is one of our foremost eye surgeons in the Philippines.
Doc pala. Hello. Sorry, doctor.
Hindi, pero yan kasi, ngayon, na-addict sa windsurfing, kaya nag-retire na siya. Tapos
Oh,
windsurfing yan.
okay.
Aside from always claiming that he loves me.
Okay, okay. Back to violin. Bakit naman nagsawa na ang Aliw Awards na ginawa ka na talagang Hall of Fame? Sunod-sunod yata yung mga award mo. What was that? For
Alam mo,
your music, for your violin, or what was that?
yeah, most of the time, and the industry has been very kind to me, recognizing my efforts in raising the taste, the musical taste of the Filipinos. Dahil
Okay.
alam mo, it's not every day that you get to appreciate a violin player, di ba?
Yes.
Especially for the Filipinos, matagal ng ano yan na uh, they're more into pop, they're more into Hollywood, but never mga classical stuff, di ba? And I'm not saying that these are all they all have low tastes when it comes to that, but if you have a varied and sophisticated appreciation, a sense of appreciation, then you become more or less a better person, a better citizen, di ba?
Okay.
And I'm glad that the industry
Yeah.
has so far recognized that effort.
I think with all this, we can already show the photos that you have. Kasi one of those will be in the Aliw Awards. I'm really sorry sometimes I interrupt kasi alam ko marami kang mga photos. But Anton will show us the photos that you sent and you will be captioning them. But in the meantime, nakailang Aliw Awards ka na ba?
Hindi ko binibilang, Nancy. Marami yan. Marami yan, I admit. But alam mo, hindi lang yung Aliw, may Awit, merong PMPC, merong
Okay, yeah.
industry awards. Yun nga, I'm just so happy that that they have been kind to me, and it's really much appreciated yung
Mhm.
when they recognize the efforts. Because
Okay.
alam mo tayo, hindi naman natin ambition sumikat eh. Hindi, that's the farthest thing from my mind. We're not the type, di ba? Kahit ikaw, di ba, as
Yeah,
a performer, when you
yeah,
sing on
so,
stage, you
yeah,
want to just have fun, enjoy, and
yeah.
we just pray that it turns out well. Yun lang
Mhm.
yun.
Yeah, that's true.
Eh, oo. So,
Okay. All right. Here are some of the photos that we gathered from you, and we'd like you to caption them. And well, I just want to say, ito na sino pa ba yung mga nag-hello dyan? Si Boyet. Sino ba si Boyet? G, ayaw magpakita.
si Boyet Guerrero yun. Si Bonjing, si Bonj,
Oo.
si Bonjing Rigorian, kaklase ko ng elementary school.
Bonjin!
Bonjing is one
Bonjin,
of the
ano yan?
members of the
Oh, mahal
very
ko yan.
popular VST.
Oo.
VST. Yan.
Asan si
Uy, check
Bonjin
out.
ngayon?
Nasa Seattle si Bonjing.
Oy, Bonjin, paramdam ka.
Oh, mukhang professor yan eh. Ngayon eh,
Oo.
talagang tuturo yan eh. And
Oo.
you know what? Check out their it's a shameless plug for him also. Na check out the YouTube. Mayroon na silang bagong YouTube channel, yung VST and
Oh,
Company.
ay, grabe yung VST forever. Okay,
Oh, yun.
anyway. John,
Oh,
the
yeah.
unofficial John Lennon of the Philippines.
With the white hair. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we used to gig. Area One used to do gigs in many small places. Marami pero maliliit lang. Like dati, Chef and Brewer, before the pandemic, etc. So yeah, area one, and someone was kind enough to take this decent looking photo of me playing guitar, which I find very amusing dahil it's not often that people see me playing guitar. As a matter of fact, nung una, I would see couples arguing with each other sa tables nila na sinasabi, nagsisenyas pa na gumaganon yung isa, tapos hindi, nagkikitara. Sabi niya, hindi si Lesaca yan. Hindi si John
Hindi lang
Lesaca yan.
yun. Nag-harmonica ka pa.
Oh, marami akong instrumento tinutugtog kasi nahilig talaga, Nancy. So
Okay.
yan yung ano.
Oh,
Oh,
ito na si ukulele boy. Ang
yan.
cute!
You know,
Ang cute mo
I,
dyan!
I'm also very lucky na save na save ko yung photo na yan because after transferring many homes already, many places, nawala ako na yung mga photos ko eh. And this is one rare photo of me which I always keep.
Literally, you have the ear for music. Ang laki ng tenga mo niyan.
Yeah. Yun, kita mo yan, exactly my story kanina, the
Yeah.
ukulele. That was
Yes.
one of those times when I was rejected by the neighborhood. Pero yung mga kaklasik, yung mga kapitbahay namin yan, now they say, alam mo, buti hindi mo tinigil yan dahil pinagtatawanan nila ako nung pinapauwi ako. Tapos when I practice playing violin, sila lahat naglalaro, ako nagbabiolin. So iyak ako na iyak dahil gusto kong mag-practice, makilaro sa kanila. Pinagtatawanan nila ako, ginaganon ako. Pero, pero ngayon, sila na nagsasabi, dapat pala sumama kami sa iyo.
Okay, ano to?
Oh, we had the show, I guested on George Javier. Si George Javier yung
Si
nasa right side.
George. Oo, okay.
He made a comedy routine, a comic routine. And so this is the show itself. A friend took a photo and it showed exactly that moment where I was going to break out laughing already. Dahil, I'm not really into comedy, but with George Javier as your featured performer there in the show, kita mo, ang linabas pa niya, yung violin na maliit na ang sabi niya, nabasa daw sa ulan,
Nag-shrink.
umurog. Tapos yung nota, kita mo, napakalaki ng mga nota, di ba?
Okay.
And we were trying to outdo each other. Ang nangyari dyan, si George tinuro ko sa kanya how to play the one-note samba. You know one-note samba? And he played the verse. Ta 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 ta. Isang nota lang kasi yun eh. And then I did the rest.
Okay.
Eto, yeah, I would, ayan,
The next one, Anton. Okay na si George. Meron
the next
one. Ayan, sino to?
Ano yun? Yan. I was invited to perform in Aliw. I think that was 2019, if I'm not
Is that
mistaken.
you?
Yeah, that's me with
Ang
black
taba?
hair.
Parang ang taba mo dyan. Wow.
And that was my first 5-string violin. It's an electric violin.
Oh.
So yeah, syempre, I did my best to accept the offer, the invitation to perform because Aliw also had been very kind to me.
What's your favorite pop song on violin?
My favorite pop song?
Pop song or rock and roll song in the violin.
Alam mo lahat, gusto ko, I don't play any piece that I don't like.
Okay.
But for classical, alam mo, I cannot forget that episode ng yung background music ng sa Godfather. When yung anak ni Godfather na binarel nasa steps tapos namatay, di ba? And then si Al Pacino yung the silent scream nung sumigaw siya
Oh,
ng
yeah,
ano.
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes.
Yung background music noon is a classical piece. It's called Intermezzo. It's part of an opera called Cavalleria Rusticana.
Okay.
And I used to play it with the symphony orchestras here. And so when it came out in the movie, I was so happy. And ang galing ng director because nagamit niya yung music to convey the anguish ni Al Pacino nun yung sa Godfather.
Yeah. Huh.
Galing, galing.
I'll go back to that. Okay, so who
Yes,
are
thank
these
you.
guys?
Oh, eto, I was so happy to have had the chance to pose in a picture with Pepe Pimentel. That's Pepe Pimentel already.
Oh, wow.
Oo, nagkita
Yeah.
kami ni Buboy,
Buboy, Garovillo.
Buboy Revilla.
Uh-huh.
Eh, kami dalawa, hindi kami nakatiis. Nagtinginan lang kami ni Buboy. Halika na, sabi niya ganun. Kinalampag namin si Pepe, si Tito Pepe. Tito Pepe, pakuha naman ng picture. Dahil, as you can see, he was recovering then from
Ah,
a sickness. Eh. And then I
okay.
think a few months after that, he passed on already. So alam mo, for me, it is the greatest honor to have a photo with itong mga originals natin because
Yeah,
they also had a big impact in our lives, di
of
ba?
course. Okay.
Kaya
Then,
yan sila, in fact, hindi ko na nga na-post pala diyan sila Pilita Corrales, yan sila I have a photo with them. I hindi ako nahihiya na
of course.
request sa kanila kung pwede mag-post for a photo dahil these things don't happen every day.
Yeah,
And yun ang isang regret ng papa ko kasi when he interviewed Albert Einstein, nahiya siya magpakuha ng picture
yeah.
nakasama siya. So, at the very best, ang nagawa lang niya is an article called My Interview with Albert Einstein. So,
Uh-huh.
ako from then on, sabi niya sa akin huwag ka mahihiya magpa-photo sa mga ganyan dahil hindi na mauulit yan. Sabi niya gano'n.
Correct. Okay, we have the next one. Alam ko meron dyan yung nagtuturo ka sa mga bata. So,
Oh,
yeah. Coming up. Oh,
my
very nice.
beloved.
Uh-huh.
That's my beloved. It's a nice picture. She loves that picture.
Yeah,
So,
well, we love it. It looks so nice. Yeah.
um, actually, I think this was when we were abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go on trips together kasi as much as possible. Kaya, and
Okay.
I like this photo. It's not
Yeah.
so clear though. Yung resolution lang. I think it was a phone camera lang.
Yeah, but it's very nice. Okay. The next one we have. Ang ganda. Who took this photo?
I don't know, I forgot na. Uy, yan.
Medyo
Ah,
kamukha ko na dyan si John Lennon. Oh, yan
itim
no?
na photo. You know who took that photo?
Who? Wig.
He passed on already, but I really love that guy. My neighbor also in Area 1, si Ricky Espana.
Oh,
I
Ricky!
really love that guy.
Oh,
He's a
yeah. Of
great
course.
photographer. And,
Yes.
yeah, si
Yeah.
Ricky
Wow.
Espana.
Oo.
Si Box.
Aalagaan mo
We
yan.
call him Box. Eh.
Box, yes. Oo.
Ay,
Kilala ko rin.
naku.
Oo. Love ko yan.
Yeah.
Love ko yan. Sige. Next. Ayan na. Gusto ko yan.
Oh, ah, hindi ko pala alam na napadala ko yan. I didn't want to talk about it, but sige. Kaya kwento ko na lang para sa iyo at saka para kay Anton at saka sa mga
Sa lahat na
kaibigan
fans
natin
mo
na
na
manonood.
nanonood. Okay, go.
Alam mo kasi, every Christmas kasi or every December, I would perform incognito sa mga indigent places, sa mga depressed areas. And I would usually collect mga donations from friends, tapos dinidistribute ko lang sa kanila. And I figured it's a good opportunity for me to share also my type of music. Dahil you don't see this type of music in the streets. You see
Yes.
them in expensive places. You see them at the CCP, wherever, but never on the street. And so I decided to bring the violin to the masses. And
Amen.
this was
Galing.
one such depressed area. And as you can notice, ang unang nakaka-appreciate, mga bata. Puro bata yan. And then later on, yung mga magulang na naglalabasan na sa kalye. And then later on, ano na, everybody would clap kahit ang tugtog ko yung high class na. Yung pang ano lang, di ba? Yung pang social, ika nga. Pero sila na-appreciate nila. And that's where I learned this humbling realization na ang 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 economic standing ng tao never determines the level of appreciation, the level of appreciation ng music. Doon ko
Okay.
nakita, hindi pala kailangan dekotse ka o malaki bahay mo o maganda yung alahas mo. Kahit sila nakapaa, butas ang damit, pumapalakpak na ano nila. So for me, that was a very eye opener.
So
Much.
you'll also be doing that this December.
Well, since the pandemic and alam mo, I bring everything kasi. Yung sound system, mabigat eh. Hindi ko na kaya. Yung lolo mo, hindi na kaya magbuhat. Dahil,
Manopolo. Anyway, next. Ito na. Oh, ay, wow!
ano
Iba
yan?
na
Uy,
ang congressional spouse.
ano yan? Feeling ambassadorial.
Kaya mo naman.
I remember this. This was taken inside my hotel room.
Okay. Ito na.
I
Pero
was
ito na. Yeah.
I would more often than not also be invited to represent the Philippines, our country, in various uh, seminars and workshops and country level meetings and conferences sa intellectual property rights dahil naging
Yes.
advocacy ko yan eh.
Oo nga
And
eh.
syempre, pag ganun, since meeting ito ng mga country representatives, I have to dress up, di ba? Para hindi naman nila sabihin na ganun. So, marami yan from United Nation member countries. So, kailangan naka-isputing, di ba?
Okay. Kaso nga,
Naka-isputing.
ang sabi ni Roy Marinduque, ito talaga si Roy, oh, tumatanggap
Ah,
din ng labada si John pag Sunday. Ikaw talaga, Roy, ha? Pareho lang yata kayo. Tapos si Roger Rigor, John, one of a kind. We love you. Wow.
sino yan?
Anyway,
Yeah.
ayun nga.
Si Roy, inunahan ako ni Roy eh. Sasabihin ko sana mamaya yun eh.
Okay, ito na yung The Rock and Roll Guy.
Oh, yeah.
The many faces of John. Ayan na, isa. All right.
There was a time I tried to grow a beard and a mustache. And this was one of the better looking photos.
Pero
and
John, there was a time when you were bald.
yes, yes,
Is
I
there a story
shaved
to that?
my. Um, it's quite personal, but I guess my daughter is okay with it now.
Uh-huh.
My daughter is a cancer survivor,
Amen.
and when she was having her chemo treatments, of course, one of the side effects was that the hair would fall off, no? And it
Mm-mm.
wasn't really looking good because they get off in patches, so hindi maganda. I mean, clumps, ganun ang dating. So, what I did na lang, sabi ko, anak, let's shave off your head na lang para at least you look better than that. I don't want you looking like this. It's very depressing also, sabi ko. And so she agreed. And while she was cutting, while I was shaving her head, she was crying. She was crying. Alam mo naman, syempre, babae, tapos gano'n ang, tatanggalin mo yung buhok, di ba? And so, I just brought her to her room, and then I put her to sleep. And then, the whole night, I could not sleep because she was crying. Until finally, I figured, I know what to do to cheer her up. So, in the middle of the night, I shaved my head. No, 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 no. That's not the way it goes. After she shaved her head, because she was crying, I shaved my head. Ganun kagad yun. Instant, instant. And so, I saw her smile. Yun na yun. So, sabi ko naman, well, ngayon ko lang I had the chance to be bald. And I figured, I look so bad. Sabi ko, because hindi pantay yung ulo ko eh. Tabingi yung ulo ko eh.
That is very,
So anyway,
that is a
well,
total love. Total love. Okay. Medyo baka
well,
mapaiyak ako. Susunod, next. Very nice,
ay,
John.
mahal
Kaya
na
nga,
mahal ko talaga yun.
love ka nila eh. Love din kita. Okay, next please. The next one will be... Oh, si John Lennon!
Ah?
Si John Lennon.
Let me see. Yan. Yan.
Wow! Pare! Ikaw
Ito
na
yan.
ikaw. John na John. Ang galing mo.
Ito ang kwento dyan. Ito ang kwento
Oh.
dyan. Since I wanted to have fun and do the John Lennon thing, right? I figured katuwaan ito. Tinawagan ko si Willie Nepomuceno, our very famous Willie Nep. Because alam mo yan, top of the line yan, and na marami siyang prosthetics, di ba? And gimmicks also. And then the rest is the personality, the character already. So, nagpaturo ako kay Willie Nep. And then, binigyan niya ako ng isang tao na gumagawa ng prosthetics. So, sinukat niya ako, linagyan yung mukha ko ng plaster of Paris, blah, blah, blah. And then, you see that nose at saka yung kilay, yan yung yan yung ginawa niya na pang John Lennon. And then, bumili kami ng wig sa Santa Mesa. And then we tried it on. So we had a photo session na iba-iba just to see how I will look like. Ayan ang lumabas. And then I wore that army thing na shirt. So just to make it more suggestible na na John Lennon siya, di ba? And this is it. And then after that, ayun na. Sabi ni Bert De Leon sa akin, let's do it. Sabi niya ganun. So, we had a Valentine show at Hard Rock Cafe. Tapos naka-all white pa. I had to buy a white suit sa kamuning ko lang pinagawa yun. And then yung rubber shoes ni John Lennon talaga.
Yeah.
And then I just sauntered on stage and did my bit. I wish I had a video to show you.
Nakaganito kami when we watched that eh. Nakanang kami.
Doon ba kayo?
Oh, yeah.
Doon ako nagulat dahil ang dami kumukuha ng photo sa cellphone.
Ayan yun, no? Yan, no?
Ayan.
Yes. Ate ko na. Can you sing one bar of a John Lennon song? We just have to prove to the viewers who haven't heard you. Come on.
Oh no. I don't sound like
Some bar lang. 3 lines.
Anyway, let's see.
Imagine.
Let's see. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer. Yun lang, ganun lang.
Yes! Galing. Galing. Ikaw talaga
It's
yun.
just
Yeah.
usually may mga special effects yan, mga slap, mga echo, na ano. So which adds more to the impression that it's a Lennon impersonation. So, ang galing. Salamat, Willie Net, for teaching me all these things. Really, I
Actually,
treasure your friendship.
sasama natin si Willie Nep dito one of these days sa interview. Nako si Willie. Oo.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah. I don't know if we have any more photos, but okay, we're a little pressed for time. You know, John,
Oh, already?
um, as I said in the beginning, you're a guy who wears so many hats, and there were so many things new to me about you. A loving father, loving husband, a loving grandfather, a composer, ang dami na. And you have the incognito musical Santa Claus who brings music to the people who only hear, you know, street sounds, and it's elevating. I'd like you to end with a message to the viewers. Na this is the other side of the rock and roll John Lesaca. Please.
Okay. Firstly, thank you for having me here. It's such a big pleasure for me to be able to be featured and to reach out to your viewers out there. Ang dami-dami niyan, I'm sure of that. And thank you for the viewers and my friends who are also watching, by the way. Um, Alam nyo, uh, maybe what you said, I'm a people pleaser. I know I cannot please everybody, but I try to make everybody happy. I try to make everybody smile. Only because it's in my nature. Maybe it's because I'm Pisces. I'm full of love. I'm full of emotion as well. But I try to suppress it because you cannot live on emotions alone. I I don't profess to be an outstanding husband for that matter. I also have my own share. I'm not a perfect husband. I'm not a perfect friend. But the more, the more you do not know. And that's a very humbling experience. And I've come across that many, many times. And I'm still learning in my ripe old age of so many years. I still learn. And this pandemic has taught us a lot of things. One is that don't be shy to say I love you to the person that you're talking to. That's why I love these childhood friends of mine. Yan sila Freddy, I love you, di ba? Ganun, ganun yan. It's not the I love you na badingerzi, di ba? Hindi. It's the I love you that because we we were together. And yung John Lesaca, maybe John Lesaca has worn many hats, but uh, if not for family, I would not be able to wear even a single hat. And yun nga, thank you. Alam mo, ang message ko ngayon is always thank you, thank you. Even when I pray, I don't ask for anything anymore. I just say thank you, Lord. Because it's time to show the gratitude. It's time to share what God has given you. And just be safe. We all pray for each other's safety and well-being. But when I'm long gone, I just hope that you remember even a small memory of John Lasaka when the time comes. Dahil, ano na yan eh, nandun na tayo sa pre-departure stage.
Ito nga, there are places I
But making music is
remember.
still so much fun. And
Yeah. Last
that's
guy.
why I'm doing a lot of
Teka, Ernie Jimeno John, what a life story, and Lino Chanyungo. Keep going, John P. Keep the wig. Keep the wig. Anyway,
yeah,
viewers,
these are high school friend buddies of mine.
Okay, you can see viewers na how the mileage that John has done from area 1 to the planet, to the awesome planet, because John is an awesome guy, and
And I
I
have
know he
awesome
will
friends.
yeah, he'll do many more things that will make us proud that he's Filipino and that he's a friend. And please do watch and be inspired. There's a replay of this interview, but well, sorry, we have to end it. Although I'm sure there are so many more things that we have to about the Haribon and about copyright of music. Maybe we should invite you again, John, for another one. But this time,
Sure, sure.
your message of Thanksgiving is just right because Thanksgiving is just around the corner.
Oh
Next,
yeah.
yeah. So thank you very much, John. And as they say in every performance, applause to you. Thank
Thank
you.
you
At
also,
saka
Anton.
sasabihin ko
Thank
na
you,
rin, John,
everyone.
I love you.
I love you.
Okay. God bless. Bye.
Bye.